Welcome everybody to the Onward of VR Master League. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's. If you are joining me today, then you are joining me solo for our adventure into a gold tier matchup. 2 teams that we are likely to see partake in the Challenger Cup that is coming down the line a few weeks' time from now. Unless they can somehow manage to find a couple of big W's and bump their way all the way up into the top 7 position. They still have a little bit of a ways to go in that regular season ladder before they have that chance. I think if you look at the worldwide standings, let's do a little bit of scrolling, but we do find STR1VE 24th. Overall. Their opponent, SirenSnails, 30th overall. So I don't know mathematically that they can get enough MMR to break into the top 7. There's 2 weeks left, and so not a lot of time. But still, should be exciting to see these 2 teams duke it out, and I'm going on a bit of a tangent, and we could talk about it all day, where we theorycraft and theorize about where these teams are going to lie at the end of week 15 of the regular season, but we're not quite there yet. We are close, but we're not quite there. Regardless, this should be an exciting matchup. STR1VE versus SirenSnails. 2 bands, Abandoned and Cargo, and map 1 coming in at Bazaar. Oh, sorry. So, looking at the statistics on both of these squads, if you do take a gander over at STR1VE's stats over at vrml.com/onward/teams, you can find all of the stats of all of your favorite teams right there. They have, on Bazaar, 5-3 win rate. Their second most played map, makes sense that they pick into it. Abandoned, banned away. They have not played it yet this season. A ban of weakness, from all indications. SirenSnails, Bazaar, their second most played map as well, and 7-5. So this first map is going to be exciting. But Abandoned 3-2, so not bad. SirenSnails actually have pretty good win rates across the board on their maps. We look at, wonder what they're on a 2-game win streak. Most recently losing to the Bad Batch and Entity. Other than that, though, they have very few losses this season. So they've been playing pretty well for what is their first season into the VRML regular season ladder. That's actually pretty dang impressive to be able to get this high in your first season. So excited that we're tuning into this match. Apologies, I don't think I've ever cast Siren. Oh no, we did cast SirenSnails.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the cross before I do move up.
No, we haven't cast SirenSnails yet. This is their first cast on stream. And it's the first round of map number 1 as we dive in to the action. STR1VE versus SirenSnails. Our first objective, the northeast, and already some shots ringing out right up through the center. Toaster Kitten doing a bit of suppressive fire there. And ooh, a nice pickup right away from Cammy Aaron as they find the adjusting attacker there. The suppressive fire did well, but as soon as it came off, Cammy pops up and finds a kill. OKM, meanwhile, inside Kayat building, a very dangerous threat to the likes of STR1VE. If they decide to try and push out on the north, OKM can potentially check out from that 2-story. They also have a variety of options in terms of windows bottom floor, windows second story, where they can check out into the middle bazaar, the side angle. It's really quite a powerful position to be in. And OKM, Blue is pushing out of this corner here. I think that flash caught Blue out and prevented the initial push, but now both Annihilate and Pikachu are here, and Blue finds one. Are they gonna be ready for the second? They are not. Pikachu stayed tucked in, and at least they managed to find one. Blue's aggression goes down, and now SirenSnails lose general control up over that middle bazaar. It's going to force Cammy to really be the only line of sight out into the middle. And it's a pretty standard line of sight through that window, so they're like they are not likely, but they could be scooped up there. Meanwhile, Downpour 11 tucked into the corner, just checking if the boots were peeking through the wall. You always got to be cautious of that if you tuck yourself prone into a corner like this. I think Pen Daddy saw the feet. So they are aware one's in the corner. And it is an unfortunate reality, but it's just something you have to be cautious of if you're playing this game. When you go prone like that, the body can clip through these thin walls. Cammy finds one through the middle. That's a nice pickup. Gets rid of the initial push up there, and so we're gonna have to stay split as Bizachu, who almost sees Cammy through that window, can't quite spot him. A smoke's gonna come in, and it is gonna nicely deny vision along that window. Bizachu crosses past those shots from E. Hansen, and now we're a bit split here. Pen Daddy working up close. We'll fire right over on the north. C4 getting detonated. SirenSnails anticipating the push to be coming in here. Still on board Pen Daddy there as they slowly work their way around. Oh, and Downpour is tucked right into this corner. And Pen Daddy, again, should know that they're there. They saw the toes peeking through the wall. At least I think they did. Wild if they don't fully check this corner. Wow. Maybe they didn't see Downpour's feet. Either way, they stay quiet. And that is the important element here. If Pens turns here, they should see the barrel of Downpour's gun. And I would almost relocate through the window and just take the shots through that window instead of trying to go this way. But Pen knows right where Downpour is, and there's the kill. A nice quiet pickup on this side. Turns it into a 3v2. And Bizachu close to objective. It really forces this defense to stay tight around that objective space. Allows for the advancement up through this area, although that was a nice nade up over the top. Oh, it was a little bit short, though. Oh, the smoke comes in. Allegory Corey nearly finds that kill, but as soon as they take those shots, they don't feel comfortable on that tight corner anymore, and they move away. Cammy relocates the smoke. A nice move. Oh, and as Cammy goes up onto that second floor, Pen Daddy nearly finds the kill. Another good smoke toss. Bizachu finds E. Hansen rotating, looking for Pen Daddy up in the north, but they're not going to be ready for this long swing from Cammy. It's a risky one, but it pays off and catches Bizachu out. A really nice play. They go so far away from objective, but they put the trust in Allegory Corey to hold down that OBJ space. And now it's Pen Daddy with 45 seconds left into a 1v2. Finds one, looks for Cammy, and the double for Pen Daddy, clutching it up for STR1VE. A very nice bit of shooting. Quick reactions, and fortunate that after taking those first shots, they didn't immediately get picked up, but I just don't think Cammy had that line of sight or was looking in that direction, and Strive take their first point. An exciting start to the series, though, as SirenSnails certainly put out some interesting maneuvers there on defense. And offense, because some of them were a bit offensive, where they had Blue advancing forward into Kayat, being aggressive, flashing corners and what have you, and then Cammy on that long swing through Kayat, taking that risky rotation away from objective. Ultimately, I think they never got settled back in around the objective space, and it was good timing, I suppose, from Pendaddy, who finds that solid double kill to clutch that round. And pretty long one at that. 30 seconds left on the clock, so the time was about to run out. And I tweeted it out, but I think we have 3 channels live right now. So if you do want to check out all of the potential VRML action, you can go to Onward VRML right here, or 2 and 3. Really make sure that you are never missing guns shooting.
I'm stressed.
Back into the action we go, though. Round number 2 of map 2.
I really do believe in you, Annihilate.
Ooh, and an early line of shot here. Picked up. Izachu goes down. Cammy finds the line through the window. They get that quick spawn for SirenSnails, and they utilize it well. And look at this, Blue already in kayak, gonna deny any sort of advanced defense opportunity. They really have a very fast bit of control of right up to the front door of objective. Really nobody contesting or even watching objective room.
Oh, fuck.
And it is a interesting spread that does get them a kill.
-1 North
back.
Alley. Echo 4, Sierra 4.
Watching that far north side. The edges are actually well covered. It's up through the center, where Strive lack a solid defensive setup. And so when they kicked it off with Cammy's kill, I think they really could have flown through that center and had 3v1 or 2 on objective. It would have been, well, an opportunity for a cap. But it's actually instead this defense almost set up for the SirenSnails attack. They're ready for the edges. E. Hansen here rotating around. Pendaddy's sitting there waiting. Toaster is listening. And they are at least not investing any more over into that north side, as it looks like the duo is considering applying pressure onto objective. Ooh.
-1 North Alley.
Another on the north. Cheddar finds Blue trying to swing around that north side. This team does not want to go up through the middle at all, as Siren get picked apart, trying to work from the north and the south edges. It's now just down to 2 with a good flash onto that corner, but Pendaddy can't apply the pressure. Toaster tries to, but Allegory Corey has tucked in on that deep side. Penn has managed to cross here, and I don't think Allegory Corey saw that. If Penn continues to advance around the corner here, it's going to be a pretty easy kill, as I don't think at that tank side. Out of the FOV, that's another down, and it's all up to Cammy and the 1v4.
He's on OBG. Charlie.
Now the defense comes crashing back. Cammy will find Penn out and Annihilate. A nice double. Set things up. Tablet comes out, but they are not close enough to cap. And a lot of suppressive fire coming in through that smoke. Toaster Kittens finds the kill, but a nice attempt for the cap in the smoke, but had to ultimately push out into what was a hail of bullets. And again, a nice attempt there with that double from Cammy to find the rotation and then quickly scoop up Annihilate. Almost set up for the cap opportunity, but not quite there. Round 2 goes into the way of Strive NA. And we are underway with the gameplay today. That's all the rhyming I'll do. I promise. SirenSnails, those, again, they had such a great start. And, you know, how can they know what the defensive setup is? There's no way. They don't have the vision that we do as with the spectate camera. So can't blame them for, you know, trying to go for that split play because, again, if the team is then stacking up a defense in the center, then the working down the lanes in the north and south is actually a pretty dang good idea. You can really surround the entire defense. But just so happens that SirenSnails, or excuse me, that Strive really abandoning cover up through the center almost anticipated that this team would go around to those north and south lanes. And, you know, I don't know if that was the case and they, you know, they knew that they were going to go for that rotation, but nonetheless, a solid bit of gameplay there from Strive to bump themselves up 2-0. We swap objectives back over, still same side, but over to the tank. Round number 3 of map 1. Bit of a fast spawn here from Strive. They can instantly apply some pressure, and particularly up through the center. You see Toaster Kitten and Bizachu advancing already up into a position where they have lines of sight down onto the objective. Trouble is, E. Hansen has actually also worked their way up a bit and may be able to find Toaster Kitten on the corner. We also have to keep an eye on Blue, who I believe is on that flank, watching for the rotation. Also could find some kills up through the middle if they end up looking for him. So far, they have not found anything, though. And it's just a matter of OKM Blue trying to find these kills up through the center. E. Hansen's still sitting in that tucked corner, and Blue finds at least Cheddar rotating in from the south. There is another down there, though. Penn Daddy in particular. E. Hansen comes alive there in their pushed up spot. They find out Toaster Kitten. Bizachu now aware that E. Hansen is here. Blue gets rid of the other one south, and SirenSnails are picking apart the Strive NA attack. Now Bizachu has to worry about getting hit from both sides. Oh, they do catch Blue, who's getting very aggressive. Nice shots there through the small gap in the wood. Siren do lose one, but they were up 5-2, so the aggression, if anything, warranted at that stage. Still, though, 4 minutes left for this duo to try and figure out what they want to do. Annihilate has to overcome quite a few different angles. They'll need several different well-placed smokes. And maybe a kill or two, as they are looking for Allegory there. Bizachu also looking for Hansen. Allegory finds Annihilate through the tiny crack in the wall. 1 brick wide. That's all they need. Now leaves Strive with just one. Bizachu all alone. A 1v4, and again a tough scenario here for Bizachu. At least they got rid of the flank, and so it is just a forward assault for them from here on out. I think the best route is to rotate all the way to that northeast corner. It's a matter of if they will be able to then find several different picks that they need to find. Downpour first, Allegory second. And even from there, E. Hansen has an angle onto the objective. Everybody has pretty good lines of sight, denying crosses here, and oh, actually they'll have to kill Kami first if they want to try and cross over to Downpour, because Kami has this very long lane. They're also tucked into that dark hallway, so when we turn off our ability to see through walls, they're almost impossible to identify. And as soon as Bizachu peeks, Kami takes some shots. Bizachu says, okay, I guess I won't try to push around from that corner. Has several other options in front of them where they can look for Allegory or try and push up into the blue room and go for that same sort of peek. Either way, still a 1v4 here, and smoke comes in. That might be good enough to block Cammy's vision. Allegory instantly takes shots that do connect with Bizachu, but don't down them, so they'll be able to heal and stay alive. Another smoke coming in. That one also pretty well placed. Leaves a bit of a crack there in the coverage, though, and the clock is ticking down. Minute left. Sending themselves around on another rotation. Hopefully they haven't forgot about E. Hansen taking those shots 2 or 3 minutes ago. Either way, every angle they go to, there's a dead body there, and Bizachu sees Hansen but can't connect. SirenSnails put up a solid defensive round, stop the bleeding, and tie things up 2-1. Appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out in chat. See LeBron James shouting out Strive. I do appreciate you. If you want to become a official VRML caster, you can certainly apply. We are always looking at applications for new folks to join the team, even though we are in the back half of the season. You will see actually a few new casters that have applied joining into the casting fold in the coming weeks, so please give them your support over on Onward VRML 3, where they will initially learn the ropes of running a show like this and eventually be pros in no time, I presume. But yes, you certainly can become a VRML caster if you want to. You just have to go through the official channels and apply on the website. We are a pretty big organization, and so we gotta do things with applications and whatnot. We don't just let anybody jump into the casts and cast VRML games, and in particular you gotta train and go through the whole process of learning how to do all of the well, fancy stuff that you're seeing here today. There's a lot of learning to be done. Once you figure it out, though, it is a pretty fluid process, and so again, I would encourage you, if you are interested, to feel free to apply. Back into the action we go, though, for round number 4. SirenSnails kicking it off on defense, or excuse me, offense. Strive back on defense, and we stay at that same objective. Siren this time getting a different spawn than we saw from Strive, a much longer spawn over into that far northwest corner. It really allows Strive to set up comfortably, and Annihilate can get pretty aggressive. This rotation is risky. They could potentially die for that cross. I think the timing can be there where SirenSnails can check that corner if they spawn where Strive spawned last round, but either way, Annihilate does get up into an advanced position and has tossed a C4 into that blue room, and they're going to wait until they hear footsteps detonate that C4. LMG shots coming in as an interesting angle from Toaster. Blue has managed to cross, and I don't know if they saw that cross. The smoke was deployed there. Annihilate downs one, rotates onto the corner, confirms another. No, just confirms their C4 detonation. Tommy is able to find that kill. A 1-for-1 trade. Pen Daddy shuts down Blue, trying to rotate in from the north.
-1.
Being a little bit, I mean, I wouldn't say too aggressive, but just trying to clear out this east side, and Pen Daddy had advanced up, I would say aggressively. This Strive team certainly pushed forward. Siren find another kill as Downpour scoops up one. Kami's looking for some action. They find Bizachu. And one by one, Strive is losing their defense here. Downpour looking for Pen Daddy. They heard the shots. They're going to pre-fire the corner, but they don't do it deep enough. Pen Daddy finds the kill there. On objective, defense is weak, but Toaster's here, and nobody's really applying the pressure onto that objective just yet as Kami is trying to find the refrag onto Pen inside that building. And E. Hansen working around for a flank. If they work this flank, though, and they catch Toaster Kitten, oh, it would be huge. They could easily cap. Pen has a massive rotation. I was going to combine Monster and Massive there. Wait now as the duo reconnects. Kami and Hansen now working their way up. Toaster taking some shots on the corner. Oh, and that smoke, I don't think going as far as they were hoping, but 2 smokes are tossed out. You do see the rotation coming in from Pen Daddy on the other side. Doing a little bit of back and forth there as Kami keeps Pen Daddy tucked in. I don't think Toaster knows that Hansen's into that tight corner. So really an opportunity here for Hansen to do something. As Kami draws a lot of attention with these shots from that courtyard. Smokes now dissipate though. And that smoke cover is gone. Still a little bit of a angle potentially from Pen Daddy if they look this way. Hansen's not going to continue to move up through the middle. That they're going to potentially rotate around for that flank. If they do, Toaster can hear the footsteps through this corner on the wall. So it's not exactly going to be a surprise. Still though, Pen Daddy not rotating here is interesting. With 2 minutes left, I do anticipate we'll see them push back to objective to properly defend. Oh, and Toaster is going to find Hansen right there. Catches them off guard. On objective defense gone. Pen Daddy comes crashing back. They do, and no aggressive push onto the objective. Even though they knew where both these defenders were, they're not going to apply that additional pressure, which is unfortunate because now Pen has a line of sight to deny Hansen advancement up to the objective. And instead, they'll push out to the objective and it'll be a kill. Ultimately, a net positive as SirenSnails find themselves their final opponents. Could have been 3-2 though, as we tied things up to a piece. You may notice that we have several sponsors supporting the VR Master League this season. Those include ProTube VR. They offer fantastic stocks that help support your aim in-game. They also offer haptic feedback mounts so you can feel the recoil in real life. It's a really cool way of enhancing the immersion. I do recommend. We also have HyperX coming in with the fantastic HyperX Quadcast S, but also the Cloud 2 wireless headphones, Bluetooth earbuds, a ton of different products that we end up giving to our champions of Season 12. They obviously also do support the commentating team, and so we appreciate HyperX as a sponsor. Also, VR Cover. They offer fantastic covers for any VR device. Greatly enhances the comfort and is a must-buy for any VR headset that you have if you haven't picked up a VR cover yet. They also have a couple of other peripherals, so again, I do recommend checking out VR cover. I think we have a link if you do exclamation point VR cover, but I'm not 100% sure. And obviously VRML, supporting the VR esports and growth of it. Always happy to see the continuing growth of the VRML and new faces coming in. If you are new to the league, now is a great time to get involved, as there is a ton of new teams. I suppose not now. I think we actually are into roster lock, so I don't think you can create a new team. You are actually a little bit too late, but good time to prepare for next season. A lot of initial free fire, and Allegory getting aggressive on the cross south. Actually a trade up through the center. Maybe that was on the corner there, but either way, the suppressive fire does not stop.
I believe I got the guy south. One of them.
And Bizachu has not found Allegory there, but Toaster will.
Minus another south, Echo 2.
So they actually have... Oh, I think they have an accurate kill count. I think Echo 2 means that there's 2 down on the opponent's side. Either way, a pretty fast push up here from Toaster Kitten. They're so far skating under the watchful eye of Cammy, but if they try and cross the street, they won't. If they just push any further, they're going to run into a bit of an issue. The rest of the team working their way up to the objective, annihilating Bizachu on the other side of that street. Got to keep the attention split, just like the defense does, as Toaster and this team try and sync up.
Blue room next to market.
Actually made it to a live stream. Yes, you did indeed. It is live. Just 6 minutes delayed. Strive trying to find themselves. Oh, they really have it, actually. There's no cover from Siren all along this north street of the objective. It's because they've lost 2, and they are weak on the amount of defenders they have, and they have to properly defend inside of the objective. But even then, they really only have one eye into the middle objective approach here. Downpour can pop up through the window, but Cammy is so far away that if they are properly distracted and the remaining defenders are eliminated, there's just a huge amount of time to punch in a code on this objective. So maybe a chance for Strive to confirm map 1. But if they feel the need to ultimately commit to a flank instead of pushing up through the center, which is oftentimes the easier route, I feel like they are going to actually run into more resistance. Cheddar in particular pushes out here. Toaster goes down, but Cheddar quickly finds that refrag. A nice pickup on the outside corner as they now challenge Downpour, but Downpour pops out to find Cheddar, and it's up to the duo through the middle. As the smokes are deployed, Downpour finds more shots towards Bizachu. A nade, always a good deterrent to deny anybody capping in through the smokes. That's going to come out, but not find anybody, and still no advancement quite up all the way through to the objective. No one spotting E. Hansen in the dark corner here. Annihilate goes down. That call out should come in. See if Bizachu reacts. Either way, 2 minutes left on the clock for Bizachu to work with. They know Downpour's position. The question is, do they have all the information here? How will they process it? What will their play be here? And there's the smart move from Hansen to rotate off of that position. Hold a completely different angle, one that Bizachu's really going to have to commit to be out in the open for. now is definitely the right time to work over towards the flanks. They've chipped away this defense so that these final two have to hold inside that objective courtyard, and it allows for Bizachu to fully rotate and potentially surprise one or two of these defenders with a little bit of a different angle. Hansen is watching for this cross, though, into that alley. And that rotation that they went for earlier really may pay off here. They're going to be so hard to identify for Bizachu here. And I think Downpour may have heard that. Either way, they find one. Bizachu prone catches out E. Hansen. They pop up and are now going to advance forward towards Downpour's position. Downpour has a slice of an angle, though. And the trade, SirenSnails come out on top. The defense wins by a fraction of a second or however. Onward determines the trade winner. Either way, Siren just barely squeak away with the defensive round and go up 3-2. And yeah, we talked about the ranks of the squads at the start of the match, but SirenSnails, with their first season in the VRML, have managed to already, I think, climb up to, what was it? 30th overall, which is very impressive. Truly, we'll see how they do this series. Maybe an opportunity for them to be a bit of a surprise element in that Challenger Cup if they don't manage to get into the top 7. We do have an open tournament for teams that have participated in the VRML to join in and compete for a chance at being the final team in the top overall 8 teams competing for a chance at the prize pool. It's a super exciting weekend. A lot of Onward. Several hours worth. So you're definitely going to get your fix if you do want to tune in and catch the action. I think that is... This is week 14, we have week 15, and then the week after week 15 is the Challenger Cup, so... February something? Mid-February? No, mid-March? What are months?
Yep.
Plenty of Onward regardless left ahead of us, and I mean, again, we've had 3 channels live. I think we still do a VRML action, so be sure to spread out and check out the other games. But also stick around because this one has been pretty good. A nice competitive bit of back and forth, kept things close, and now Strive set up for the defense after a successful, or no, almost successful Marsoc push. A very different defensive setup, though, and that we don't see any pre-fire here. There's no use of that open middle gap there where you can dump rounds. Maybe Allegory will put some bullets through there, but it looks like they're just looking for any movement through the cracks. Can be risky, but they don't spot anything as, again, nobody really set up to look through that slice. Rest of the defense in relatively standard positions. Not a ton of coverage, again, out onto the north, but it is because of ultimately you have to push out from that north street into Annihilate and Bizachu and Cheddar's lines of sight. You have to get into this center courtyard space to capture this objective. So it is a defensive style that does work where you just wait for the late angles. You don't get aggressive. You don't hunt for kills on this street. You just let the team push to you. Maybe Toaster peeks out here now and finds one, but no, Cammy. Oh, there's one. Blue goes down. Cammy survives. Couple bits of utility, actually pretty well placed over into Toaster's direction, but a lot of smokes and distraction going on here around the
Watch out by South
objective
Alley.
space.
Smoke's on objective too.
When you're in that first-person view, you don't see the smoke, so Cheddar was blind firing through this smoke here. Meanwhile, the rest of the team working their way up. Looks like they're deciding to swing to the south, but that doesn't prove to be too easy. And Daddy able to find one prone, a very nice slice of an angle.
Road and still one in the alley.
And they have good information relayed in. The team almost knows exactly where the SirenSnails offense is going to be approaching from at least 2 of the remaining 3. Downpour looks to be unsure of where these shots came from. Checking the windows, not necessarily the floor of the doorway. I don't think Pen Daddy's gonna open it, as they really don't have to. Downpour's gonna have to push past this angle soon. And ooh, they were just peeking their head out there. And Penn did see it, so now they're lasered in. You actually shoot through that metal plating too, so I think Downpour not so safe, but either way lives for a few more minutes as Penn fully reloads. Or in hand. I wonder what they're going to try and do with that as smokes come in. A trade over on the objective. Cut Siren down to just 2. Flash comes out and over and maybe catches Downpour. Ooh, as they almost walk out into the open there. I think that did catch Downpour, but either way, they are really trapped. Hansen, the only element that could be a threat to this objective, and Annihilate's there and waiting.
-1.
They find that kill, and it does leave Downpour 11 alone in a 1v4. STR1VE putting up a solid bit of defense here. Taking this one to a round number 7, it looks like. Of course, I'm not counting Downpour out yet. We'll see what they can do if they can find Pen Daddy, who has a pretty good line onto this corner. Very hard to identify there. Sorry for the lag, that was strange. Downpour gets around the corner undetected. Penn must have been holding a different angle.
Kill counts 2. Yeah, you clear to push up.
I don't know if Downpour is aware that they're alone. All you have to do is check that tablet, confirm if your teammates are alive or not. 30 seconds left now. Downpour does finally take a look and does realize they are alone and has to push in now. 20 seconds left. Annihilate dishing the flash out. Doesn't catch Downpour 11, but still Annihilate is able to get the gun up in time and find that kill. All tied up, 3 apiece. We go into our final round of map number 1. And a good bit of back and forth. That first round, a clear indicator of what to expect this series, as we have since then mimicked that result several times, where we've come down to 1v2s, the final 30 seconds. Granted, that was a 1v4, so maybe a bit of a better defense that round from Strive. But regardless, we're all tied up here, 3 apiece in our first map of the series. We still got 2 more after this. So again, plenty of VRML action ahead of us. stretch for me. And with that, I do appreciate, again, you guys all tuning in. Reminder that we... Yes, that we have games. No, I'm wondering it. Yeah, next week, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. PST Saturday, 12 p.m. PST Sunday, over on Horizon Venues and twitch.tv/VR Master League. Horizon Venues is a really cool app that you can watch these games in VR with other people in VR on a giant movie theater size screen. It's in a social space. It's a really cool way of enjoying these shows, so I do recommend checking it out. And that again is Saturday 6 p.m. PST, Sunday 12 p.m. PST. Back into the action we go for round number 7 of map 1.
Let's just go cross into blue room.
No caps have come through, although there have been some that were close. And we go to our final objective over onto that northwest side.
I'll go first.
Stay low, stay low.
This offense advancement looking for anything up through the center, they're not going to find it. Also pre-firing angles down into the south, but nobody there. Everybody on the defensive side has set up. Where I want these. Has set up late angles. Cammy's holding a line where eventually Toasted will have to commit to pushing the objective, and that's when Cammy will find those shots. Or Toasted could rotate around to that wall and have a firefight here. And everybody else just watching the final street that you have to cross to get to the objective. This means that Strive really has all of this space to take over for free. Nobody's really going to be here to contest it. Although we do have a bit of a back and forth between Blue and Annihilate here. Blue doesn't catch Annihilate through the window. And we are also seeing a bit of a aggressive
Red truck, red truck.
peek over onto that north side. We haven't gotten there yet, though, as Allegory takes some shots towards Kitten. Blue is also here looking for a piece of the action. They're ping-ponging back and forth between two angles. There's that firefight I was talking about with Cammy coming alive in that window, but doesn't find anything, and it now shifts over. Potentially cover the north. Downpour may need it as Bizachu has managed to push up from that north side. Toaster finds Blue.
I can't confirm.
Pendaddy advances forward now, and again they managed to take over all of this ground uncontested because of the setup of this defense. Corey's not going to challenge out early from that hallway or the window. They're going to wait for Cheddar and Penn to push up. Toaster finds Blue. That's the confirm. So still just one kill, and again, very late angles here. E. Hansen, a super late angle. Cammy, pretty late. Downpour and Allegory, the only ones looking for potentially anything, and Allegory goes down to Annihilate on the corner.
-1.
Pendaddy finds E. Hansen. Bizachu goes down to Downpour on the north. Leaves it to just Cammy and Downpour on this north side, and the trio up in the center. How do they want to work past this final street to the objective? And really, if they smoke it, there's a potential for a cap here. 5 points on the board if they can manage that, but that's not always on the mind when you're tied up 3-3 and looking for that final point. There's one trade. It leaves Cammy alone.
Echo 1, I'm down on the corner.
Ooh, an interesting call out there to bait Cammy out from Cheddar. They call to go for the cap, and I don't know. Maybe that was the call out from Annihilate to push to the objective because they were going for the cap. But either way, it forces Cammy to swing out from their tucked in position. That allows the kill to come through, and Strive take their Marsoc round and their map pick. Just barely, but they do it. As they go up 4-3. Map number 2 is to be decided by SirenSnails. It's not an interesting question. Is it SirenSnails or SirenSnails? And I think the logo is a pretty clear indicator that it is SirenSnails. Don't think they're too concerned about the quality or what their nails are doing. Either way, a pretty good round from them. Again, the first time on stream, first time in the league this season, and certainly putting up some good competitive rounds. Solid defensive holds, good offensive pushes from both sides that ultimately lead us to a 4-3 for map number 1. Map 2 is decided. It's going to be a bit more of a range experience as we head on over to Snow Peak. And I say that, but it's not guaranteed. There are several objectives on Snow Peak that you can run into that are not so range friendly and are actually more close quarters than a lot of objectives that you would find on maybe even, say, Cargo. So we'll have to see what Snow Peak has in store for the likes of Strive, NA, and SirenSnails. They'll be going on the offense first, as it is their map pick. Strive will go on the defense. And our first objective of map 2 is going to be a close quarters objective. But I don't necessarily know that Siren are getting what they wanted to kick this thing off, but it's a very different map entirely, and so even though it is going to be a close quarters fight, the setup for this approach is, well, it's everything. It's all about timing and setup, and then ultimately that execution. So curious to see what both squads bring on their attacks this first 2 rounds. From there, it's anyone's guess as to what we'll have in store. Long range, short range. There is still another short range objective, but only one more. And looking at rosters, I don't see any active subs coming in. So with that, everybody seems to be ready to rock and roll as we get into map number 2, round 1. Again, SirenSnails on the attack. Strive starting on defense.
You're gonna stand right here and look through this track, and if you see them cross through this track,
Star, are you playing on the box?
You're taking them out.
And let's see what the setup is. A little bit of early interesting discussion there about what the C4 placement is and how to utilize it. There's another C4 tossed. And Annihilate's doing a similar strategy where they're waiting, looking through the crack, and will deploy that C4 when they see someone challenge the corner. Curious to see what the push looks like from SirenSnails, as they have all spawned in there in that tunnel. Instead of instantly pushing up through the tunnel, they do end up splitting. They still do invest blue and allegory to push through here, but it is a little bit risky. The defense can set up anywhere in these hallways. Really, they can. Annihilate could have pushed out and be challenging them right now, but they're not, and SirenSnails don't know that, so they have to clear out all of this space before they can eventually work up to what is that final door that they have to push through. There is 4 doors on the objective side, and so this is ultimately what Strive is properly defending. And they seem to have a decent setup, all waiting for late entries into those doorways. So it'll come down to how Siren decide to set up themselves around this objective and push in. Okay, I'm just going to check that corner. Annihilate doesn't seem to be ready for someone to be there, or didn't hear the footsteps.
He's telling.
Either way, the C4 is a bit late. And with the smoke out, a true lack of information for Annihilate to work with here. but a little bit early. Nobody else really making their advancements through any other doorways. And so Toaster can take an eye on this hallway. Annihilate obviously still watching.
Oh shit, C4, C4, C4.
Are rotating.
There are a few south alley.
And they'll find their next task is to challenge Pendaddy, who has a very small slice, and they're blended in to what is a pretty dark piece of wood there. Gonna be tough to quickly identify, and that's what that's all about if you make the exit without any utility. There is a smoke, though. Here's a counter nade. Goes in. Nice toss. No, just a flash. Does not find the blue.
Be ready.
Cammy. Ooh, that's a good bit of nade tossed in. And completely blind. Cammy finds one. The smoke denying Toaster vision. Another bit of utility comes in, and that's a pretty good toss. Where's the rest of the offense is the question. Here they come. Downpour instantly down to a C4 detonation. Could be Reds, but we'll have to see where Pikachu holds the line.
It's in the Stratford entrance.
Okay, M actually gets into that doorway. Undetected. One inside is a huge threat. Okay, M could cap
-1.
if they stay low. Toaster needs to be properly distracted. But there's an opportunity for the code. Oh, and Blue doesn't take it. They go for the shot. It leaves Hansen alone, although they could res Downpour now and turn it into a 2-2. Toaster flies outside. They decide to go for the trade. With Annihilate left alive inside, it leaves it down to them. And Strive take their defensive round. Committing to that push for a cap is sometimes the hardest thing. I think we've seen it several times this series where they've been close to making that decision, but then ultimately not finishing it off with the cap. So a good attempt, but ultimately not a cap. And all they had to do was just stay crouched, you know, go prone maybe, and prone their way up to right here. And they could have punched in that code. Just have to believe. It's so hard to trust that you'll stealthily work your way up, though. So don't blame the play or what happened there. But exciting nonetheless, and dang close. Only one left alive at the end. Even on Snow Peak. We're still in store for a pretty good back and forth. I anticipate SirenSnails to put up a solid defensive round next. But just to look back and analyze the play, you know, just a touch out of sync on the entry there from SirenSnails. If they had everybody hitting all the doorways at once, which is not easy, but is doable. It just takes patience. I think they would have had a lot of success. I have watched this objective so many times and still see teams avoid doing that. They still want to commit to peeking and prodding and poking and looking for their kills one at a time. And it's very rare that I actually see entry from all 4 doorways at the same time. I don't know why it's rare, because I'm
What?
It would be the solution to a lot, but well, just not the case. Back into it we go, though. And look at this, Blue getting very aggressive on their defensive rollout, trying to identify any early spawn from Strive and look for any early picks. And they're actually going to toss a C4
Nice one.
outside the corner and catch one. Toaster Kitten goes down right away. A big bit of control lost for Strive. It's going to be a bit of an awkward fight, or at least strange to work up through there, because now Blue's going to go all the way back. And I don't know actually what they're doing. Continually rotating around, seemingly on the hunt for more. Pisachu should hear these footsteps. Already managed to also make it past Blue's line of sight. Oh, they're going to go back, though. There's the nade. No, a flash. Blinds Pisachu well. Blue's going to try and push off of it, and they do.
Got another.
Great bit of work here off of utility for Blue. Finds themselves a kill off C4 and a kill off the flash. Very quickly shutting down Strive on offense. Annihilate Cheddar and that long rotation from Penn are all that's left.
Wonder if you'll go the very long ways, so be aware of that.
No easy rounds here for either team. That is for sure. Seemingly constant battle for every point here, but let's see if that trend continues. The Strive can maybe put 2 together in a row. Certainly going to be hard. Down 1, you only have 3 to enter into the objective, and you also have to worry about Blue, who's a bit of a wild card now. But it really is just going to be a waiting game. Matter of Penn working around to one door, the duo potentially going through one door, or splitting and having Cheddar take one and Annihilate take the other. With 3 minutes left, though, all of that will take time. Maybe we'll see a bit of battling here with Blue if they decide to push out. I imagine Blue will try and get aggressive once the fight around the objective happens. I wonder if by then it'll be too late, but we'll see. Really, Strive could work themselves into a 3v4 because of how Blue is positioned and because of them no longer challenging that tunnel side. Waiting.
Alright, go.
The call out to push in comes in. That C4 detonates and doesn't catch Annihilate. Annihilate not committing to that full corner push. There's a nade toss in. It's a good nade toss, but doesn't catch anyone out. Penn trades with 1. Cuts the defense down a bit. Penn also has comms. Annihilate can rotate around and get the res. Oh, and Blue's there, but they trade out. Flashes come in. Hansen takes a bullet. They don't go down. Annihilate snaps onto Corey to catch 1. Penn Daddy gets confirmed. It's Annihilate all alone in a 1v3, but they've got a little bit of an arsenal of utility left on their belt as they challenge Hansen through the crates and catch another. Only 1 left. Downpour to hold down this line, and Annihilate's looking for them, but Downpour catches the kill, and just like last round with 1 left alive, SirenSnails tie things up 1 apiece. Keeping the series close and sticking to the formula of pushing things down into that final minute. An exciting bit of back and forth we are in store for today. And again, a reminder during these downtimes that you can check out other live streams Whether it's on Onward, VRML 2, or 3, there is plenty of action to tune into. If you are coming from one of those channels, I do appreciate you. I'm not sure if those games are close to wrapping or have wrapped, but either way. Plenty of Onward action this fine Wednesday night coming in from the VRML side of things. Which is always good to see. And again, we're going to be seeing some more new faces, so keep the eyes out on the other channels as more new casters come into the fold. Really get your fix of Onward action. I know everybody needs it, especially now as we get into this intense time in the later half of what has been a regular length season, but 13 weeks now, or 14 weeks now, of regular season gameplay, which is a lot. There's a lot of work and W's coming into play for these teams at the end of a season to get them in a position to compete for that prize pool, which, again, we appreciate our sponsors supporting the VRML with. Shout them out already. We'll talk a little bit more about them later on in the series if we come down to that map 3 decider. We'll still play out that third map, of course, but
We should have 6 minutes.
we'll have to see
Yeah.
1 minute
if
for Captain.
SirenSnails
5, 6 for Captain.
can put up a W here on their map pick, and if we'll go into that map 3 deciders or not. I imagine we won't really know until we get to round number 7. I anticipate trading rounds here of how these squads have been playing. No easy rounds, and so
Tell me where they are and throw a grenade at them.
could be interesting. Also, back into the action we go for round 3. Little suppressive fire out towards the standard defensive position. Blue also on the hunt for another. They're going to catch Pendaddy's legs out, exposed from behind the cover. I think that's the second time Pendaddy's legs have betrayed them this series. Obviously, one of the things that you don't have tracked in VR, outside the head and arms, those legs are... they work different. With that kill as well, it really opens up this south side for this whole team from SirenSnails. They can get very close to objective, relatively uncontested.
Nice one,
The only
Echo
challenges
4.
they will have is going through the middle. Sure, with a very nice line.
Confirmed.
Very small slice of life there through that corner. And I think they suspect that that kill came in from the back right. The defender in the hill.
We have lost a friendly.
All tied up 4-4 though. Oh, make that 4-3.
One on the heels down.
As Cammy does get rid of Bizachu, trying to find
Lakeside heel.
any sort of angle there. I think that ACOG
Get the
getting
drone
utilized there. Nice bit of shooting from Cammy, and Cammy actually using the drone here.
We have friendlies crouched in the face.
The drone, I don't hear, but is somewhere in this area, as he was just calling out Allegory's position. Ah, there it is. Hey, up there. Just scanning and looking for any information. Will they see Cheddar is the question. Certainly hard to identify unless we turn on nameplates there. Can't quite see them. Still though, interesting bit of top-down perspective there as Cheddar does catch Cammy trying to rotate. So they certainly did not spot Cheddar in that corner there. Cammy was the one using the drone. And with so much smoke coming out here, I still don't think Cheddar's position has been identified. If they try and cross, it's going to be bad news. Finally, Cheddar takes shots, and I think now they know. But I don't hear actually any call out from Hansen on that location.
-1.
Grabs the tablet,
I'm running for base.
relocates off that successful kill. Oh, and Cheddar's actually going to rotate around for the res. They should be able to get. Although maybe Hansen's going to catch this.
Look, where's your...
Yes, shots do come in. Cheddar barely makes it.
I need to use the syringe me so I can sprint.
I don't have.
On objective. They push out while that res comes in. Toaster catches a few more. And Strive come out on top. Good defensive round with technically 4 up as the round finishes, so solid job from them that defensive round, and a little bit earlier than our previous as we come down to a minute 41. Interesting enough that this is one of our shorter rounds when this objective is what I would consider to be one of the long-range objectives in Snow Peak. Strange that we have a shorter time now than we did. Taking a look at the active KDs here for the day so far. 4-1 from Annihilate, 5-3 from Blue. Both standout shooters on their teams respectively so far. Oh, I see Rufio subscribing with Twitch Prime 20 minutes ago, maybe soon, maybe later. Appreciate you. Appreciate also the new follows that have come in. If you are new and do have Twitch Prime available, feel free to drop that Prime sub. It helps come back support folks like myself and the casters. Do appreciate. Back into it we go, though, for map number 2, round number 4. Swapping sides. Drive getting a bit of a quicker spawn than SirenSnails here. Oh, no, the same spawn, excuse me.
Rush for the push.
So we may see some early action. Oh, now the spawn point given away, so no need to worry early about anybody rotating in from Lake. Everything is going to be focused here up in the south. A risk to take those early shots, because if you don't hit and connect and find a kill, you've ended up giving away your spawn position. It allows SirenSnails to get way more aggressive than they normally would, and you have Blue set up in a position like this where they can really kind of hunt for a line of sight and catch out anybody from Strive early. Oh, swings out. Blue finds one, able to tuck back. A flash comes up and Annihilate's trying to drop off. Do they get back in time? They do. The full flash, though, allows Blue to push up here, and Toaster actually comes behind Blue. Blue getting a bit over-aggressive there, and Kami wasn't able to find that angle onto Toaster, so they weren't able to support over the top, and 1-for-1 now. Oh, good shots from Toaster.
South side of lane 3 past the guard tower.
Connecting on to Kami there. Now south very open. With one occupied over into that north side. there really is a potential opportunity here to get pretty close to this objective. Commies should be able to radio in what they see, though. Just a matter of what they see, as Toaster and Annihilate still haven't pushed up.
Made it to North Hangar.
Seems like Kami's not so sure that they actually got this kill. Annihilate's gonna go up and over. Doesn't confirm it. Kami still could radio in information. Yeah, now Kami's, I think, radioed in that Annihilate's rotating in from this flank position. I imagine Corey somewhat prepared for this. Not really, though. Not checking behind them at all. Annihilate should have an easy kill. Down goes Corey.
Nice one.
In they push, and suddenly their on-objective defense is weak. Cheddar catches Downpour, having to rotate. E. Hansen alone in their efforts to hold down this objective, but at least they are close to the objective. Actually, probably in the best spot to hold this down. They just have to watch so many different sides. There's a good smoke. That's actually going to deny vision onto Annihilate. Annihilate could cap under that smoke. More smoke coming in. Yeah, and Hansen has to be wary of this. Strive are going for this cap. Annihilate is tablet out in this smoke. Suppressive fire over the top, and Hansen doesn't have enough rounds to check this smoke with their gun. Flash comes out, and it's not close enough. Annihilate punches in the code. Strive take map 2, the series, and the W 4-1 just like that. Unfortunate reality of being alone and low on ammo. Or at least not with the LMG. They aren't able to just dump bullets through that smoke and deter the cap. And ultimately, the cap comes in. I think that flash was a good idea. It went a bit too far, though, and I don't think it caught the code, the person who was entering in the code. Who was that got the Cheddar? Map 3, chosen by Strive, takes us back to the close quarters. You may have seen it. Is going to be Subway. That's where we'll wrap up this series. And even though it has been won by Strive, we still play out the third map. All the rounds won are important, and I think we saw a little bit of a chat in there in Twitch about it, but the more rounds you win, the more you go up in rank. It is as simple as that. The more rounds you lose, the more rounds you go down in rank. You can technically win a series and lose in rounds. That still guarantees you go up in rank, but it is the least amount that you could go up from a W. And so right now, Strive have a solid 4-1, or a solid overall 3-point lead. If SirenSnails can bounce back and put together a pretty solid Subway here, they could tie the scoreline if they 4-0 this map. That would really prevent them from going down in rank substantially. But at this stage, ranked 30th, I think you just kind of have to play now to get as high as you can in your first season in the VRML. And so I imagine that's what SirenSnails will be going for in these final few weeks of the season. And then I do hope to see them test a few squads in the Challenger Cup, because they certainly have tested Strive here today. It's taken a lot of hard work and good effort from Strive to get themselves the win they got. A very consistent and hard fought back and forth, and I don't think that's going to end, although it could. Momentum certainly is a big thing, and Strive definitely have the momentum in their favor. Their map pick, they've won the last two. They just secured a cap. Subway is a little bit dangerous. You're not exactly safe here, and certainly could suffer a cap or two if you're not careful. Just taking a look at rosters. I don't see any subs coming in here on either side. So it should be same five, both ends. Ready to dive into our third map and final map of the series. Ugh, why does this happen to me? One more map to go, and it seems like we've been called into a timeout. Hopefully not too long. So I'm hesitant to cut to intermission. I feel we should maybe just hang out here and wait until we're ready to go, especially considering I see all five in. Yeah, we're going to be starting soon, so I've actually just been killing the time as is. Round 1 of map 3 will be brought to you by me. That rhymes soon enough. And while we are kicking around some downtime, another quick shout out for our sponsors. $7,000 in cash and hardware is the total prize pool currently. May expand, may not, who knows, in these final weeks of the season. Either way, a exciting prize pool to compete for. And obviously the prestige of being crowned Season 12 champion. All worth it in my book. And I'm certainly looking forward to this postseason. It is going to be pretty exciting stuff. Going to be some very good Onward gameplay. Do not want to miss it. It is at the end of March. Well, I guess the whole postseason, middle to end of March. I think starting March 12th and 13th.
I'm just glad I could wait out for cam for you guys. Take one for the team.
I won't tell you guys what happened.
Now the action unfolds, though, and I've bought enough time and talked about enough stuff.
With me gone, they were over.
Oh, I just said the sponsor. I just said we appreciate the sponsor, but I didn't say who they were. VRML, obviously, Pro2 VR, VR Cover, and HyperX coming in to support the league that you love. An aggressive push from Strive.
South.
Not wasting any time getting themselves up here. Downpour has extended out into an aggressive defensive position themselves. To push up this far is risky on defense, as you can suffer early aggression.
Echo 4.
Or just some blind fire around a corner. Toaster, that defensive position is so common that they just shot it as they ran the corner, not even knowing anybody was there. Same thing Cheddar just did there, spraying into the alleyway before they even get to it. It's going to happen here against D. Hansen as well. Counter flash from Allegory.
Where do we want to get smokes in?
As soon as possible.
And we're hearing the radio of Strive. It is a bug. I think when the lobby host or something, I don't know how it works, but that's what you're hearing right now, the radio of Strive through the shoulder of E. Hansen. That's not what they're hearing. It's just for us in the spectate view, so don't freak out. Smokes come in, though, and it looks like Strive are setting up for their push up here. Oh, and Cheddar is saying it's clear, but it is not. Hansen is tucked in. Kami finds Ben Daddy through the smoke. That smoke leaving a bit of a gap there. And now Cheddar is blind firing into that corner. Still hasn't shot deep enough into the corner, though, and finally Hansen goes down. More smokes come out to objective, and Bizachu is slowly working their way up through the north. This could be a dangerous element if Kami and the squad aren't ready for it. And Kami goes down. On objective coverage is weak for SirenSnails as Strive push in and look for a cap opportunity. Allegory is going to swing. Izuchu one-hands the kill there. And Allegory's still resable. The smoke's dissipating. Cheddar goes down. It's a 1v2. Annihilate is going to attempt the corner peek. No, the rest of the team, well, the only other member of the team, Toaster, rotating around for a potential flank. Okay, Blue seems to be ready. There's no way Toaster's going to expect Blue to be this pushed out. Oh, and Toaster's completely pushing down. There's the kill. Blue now looking for the clutch 1v1 kill. Can they find it against Annihilate with 2.5 left on the clock? A near cap attempt from Strive gets shut down in the chaos, but does get shut down. And Allegory is resable here, and so Blue can turn this into a 2v1. Almost confirms their teammate with a knife, but instead grabs a syringe and puts out a heal. Annihilate alone now, rotating around to the north. Try their hands at coming up through the stairs and going down the alley. Probably one of the hardest ways to approach this objective, but really just trying to catch the defense off guard, I think, with this rotation. Ultimately, there's only 3 entry points, and they have 2 left alive, so they should be able to cover all potential angles for Annihilate to approach. Minute and a half now. I'm going to become an element. Spots no threats in alley, but that's because Corey is waiting around the corner. A minute left. Does Annihilate have time to slow walk this? I think they do. But as time ticks down, defense crashes back to objective because they know ultimately it has to be pushed. That is the considered benefit of the Volk side. You have to allow the Marsoc team to come to you. Annihilate is looking here, and Corey hears them. They fly the corner and find one. Blue looks for the kill and connects. Annihilate can't find it. SirenSnails hold on to their defensive round. Apologize for that little notification sound too. I was wondering what the heck it was. It was my phone. I don't know why, but problem solved. A nice early lead for SirenSnails though, and well, it's really just back to business for them, which is impressive. After losing a tough cap point there on Snow Peak, their map pick, they come right back into what is not an easy, really, objective to defend, and in chaos managed to defend it. That is a good indicator of a focused team. And like I said, if they can 4-0 this round, or this map, they'll tie in scoreline. So they'll really minimize the damage to their MMR, and so for now, they're on track for that to happen. It's just, well, we'll have to see if it comes to fruition or not. A 1-0 lead certainly has not meant a lot in this series, as it is almost always turned to 1-1, and then from there, I suppose it's really anybody's guess. Although I do anticipate a good bit of back and forth on this map as well. Maybe a cap from Strive. Maybe a cap from Siren. I don't know. We haven't really seen... well, Siren have gotten sort of close on Bazaar, but still, the cap attempts and caps have come in pretty often from Strives so far this series. And I imagine that will continue to be a trend. SirenSnails going to really have to stay on and pay attention to that. And you know, I think fortunate enough, the defensive style of SirenSnails does sort of play into waiting and covering the objective with a tight kill box and shutting down the caps. Unfortunate that it happened on Snow Peak, but nonetheless,
Okay. I'm gonna kick if
they
I
put
get
up a good
something.
hold on a lot of
I'll
rounds
click
here.
C4.
And
If I click, that means we'll C4.
we go back into the action. Strive on
No,
defense,
I'm gonna
Siren
kill
on
you.
the attack. C4 tossed. Standard position, but is anybody going to approach from this side? Looks like 3 in the basement. Quickly working their way
There's 2 on pushing.
up through this basement, and they're actually listening for footsteps above them. Hanson gonna be the first to poke their heads out of the stairwell. They'll run into what I assume is the C4 placement some way here, but maybe not. Coaster is holding this late angle, though. Oh, as soon as those shots come in, Hanson
Minus
connects
one.
with the headshot. A nice pickup from them. Another frag on the other side. SirenSnails setting up for the attack as they get rid of Annihilate and smoke out that position. A good approach
They're pushing east
from
alley.
this squad so far. Now it's just a matter of timing up their entries from both of the entry points, as they're not investing anyone over into that far north side. So it's just a matter of pushing in to these 2 corners. Cheddar is still actually in between the offense now, as they've been smoked out, and I doubt Kami's going to be ready to take shots on what they assume to be as a teammate. Cheddar finds one in the smoke. The rest of the team shifts their focus to one side. All 4 going to be making their exit from here. Bizachu could easily be overwhelmed. Pen Daddy's so far away. There's an opportunity for a cap here for Siren. They could push this up 3-0. The 4-0 dream is really within grasp. Oh no, and Pen actually disconnects. They're not going to see that rotation on the north. Still, though, Bizachu able to get a quick kill, turns it into a 3v2. Reality of being in an online league is that sometimes when you're playing online, you drop connection. You have to play through it, though, and that's what this team is doing now. Cheddar and Bizachu trying to hold on to Cheddar. Rotates back to deny any potential cap opportunity. Well, they don't actually manage to deny much.
-1.
Almost a team kill. It's now 4 pops in front of a line of sight, and now it's all up to Bizachu alone, who feels they have to check objective. As they do, they go down. SirenSnails up 2-0. Where was this when they needed it on Snow Peak is the great question, but it's here now. And they've got themselves a 2-0 lead. We've changed objectives over to the north side, and if Strive are ever going to be considering a cap, it's now. This objective the easiest to cap on in Subway. Really just how that north push works out, and so will there be counter aggression coming in from Siren? I don't know. That's kind of the question. So far, they've been pretty reserved on their defense. Although we have seen some aggressive plays from Blue on Bazaar and whatnot, so that's not 100% accurate. Either way, they're definitely going to want to avoid this cap opportunity, avoid letting it happen, and that can be done by a variety of ways, really just staying close to the objective and not spreading too thin, which they have been doing pretty good so far. C4 is obviously a key element as well. Let's see where those get placed and how they get utilized. If they get defused, quote unquote, by another, by a counter nade or something like that, and all kinds of different mind games that go into deciding how you want to push and how you want to defend. If I should nade here to destroy a potential B4 there. It's a very intellectual game, in my opinion. A true thinking person's sport. You heard it from SirenSnails themselves. 2 more rounds and they got this. Got to lock in this defensive round and then take themselves a Marsoc W. Not as easy as it
Go
sounds,
get him down for.
but possible. It looks like they are going to invest at least 1 or 2 into some initial aggression on this north side. That's not exactly tossed down the out. That one, I don't think either. Blue able to find 2 as they get very aggressive in the catwalk. Now from here, Blue can continue to get aggressive. They can push up the stairs and actually challenge the duo with the flank. Cheddar and Annihilator are about to be pinched on offense if they're not careful. Oh, that's a flash. Annihilate completely blind in the corner. Blue finds 1. Gonna swing. Knight finds another. Strive are cut apart, and Bizachu is alone in the first minute of their attack. A very nice bit of work from SirenSnails on defense here, and that aggression paying off big time up top. 4 kills coming in there from Downpour, I think. Now all eyes on Bizachu as they're alone. And not really a lot of coverage out here in the south side. It is very late, which is smart for this objective, but there's going to be a bit of time if Bizachu takes their time before we see final push attempt. As is the nature of Onward, though, you do have these moments where it's just silence. Solo attacker tries to find and clear every single defensive position. There's a large variety of potential angles. Kami is in one of those powerful ones, but it is pretty standard, and so I imagine Bizachu will check this when they peek out. I think they actually tried to smoke it.
So.
That's going to be an indicator for OKM to look for the kill up through the center. Bizachu doesn't find those shots, and Allegory is actually the one to get it. The smoke giving them away, and SirenSnails go up 3-0. Actually, an opportunity here for SirenSnails. Is that right? Yeah, to win in rounds 1 and still lose the series. If they manage to get themselves a cap here in 5-0, this final map, they will have more rounds 1 than their opponent who has defeated them. Can happen, has happened, and I suppose that is the most you can minimize the loss. We're not quite there yet, though, but if there's going to be any time, it's potentially on this objective. It depends again how that north push works, and if it gets completely shut down like it was first drive, then obviously it can be a tough start to the round. So it really is a matter of winning those early engagements and not necessarily getting trapped or stalled for too long. Also important to have a defender of your flank for that particular reason, and it's why you see almost every time a high-level team pushes that alleyway, they have one watching that exact flank play. So worth keeping an eye on, as it can be pushed up early, but still SirenSnails up 3-0 off of some good aggression, and yeah, Strive certainly on the back foot. They have a long road ahead of them if they want a chance at this final map, which they do because they want the biggest W they can get so that they can get as close as they can to that top 7. Although again, I don't think it's mathematically possible.
Oh my god, I'm trying to look down on. Probably rotate back to the platform.
Back into it we go though for round number 3.
What?
Map 3.
I'm flashing first down for, don't waste it.
I have frag.
Gonna have an early change here. A flash frag 1-2. Pen is completely blind. Blue finds the first kill. Now for the push down to the north, which is certainly taxing and challenging. Plenty of utility required to make it effectively happen. C4 can be placed and is, as you see the clacker in hand here, of Annihilate. But the rest of this team is rotating in from the south and setting themselves up for success, if you will. We'll have to see, of course, if that's the case. But they're looking to hit it from all sides, the south and the north, and several approaches in from the south. So if Toaster's not careful, they could catch a bullet or two from the stairwell, but they do periodically check that stairwell, and so gonna come down to Onward timing as well. Doesn't seem Blue's going to be able to get any utility. And the call out there for Blue to not get too close up, but they're using the down corpse for a little bit of cover. There's a bit of a risky play, as that body isn't always registered where you think it is. And Toaster connects with one, turns it into a 4-4. Oh, Cheddar goes down. That is bad news. Annihilate have very weak control of the north side of this objective. Excuse me, Strive. Annihilate is the only one here with control. And it is going to come down to the C4 that they have placed, which has been diffused. See, it's red. Annihilate peaks. They go down. Tablet comes out. They're actually going for 5-0 right now. And they can get it easily. There it is. SirenSnails take the cap and actually secure a point lead with a series loss. And if there's ever a tough pill to swallow, it's that one for SirenSnails, because they have been playing so good this season, seemingly so good this season, as they've climbed up the ladder their first season in the VRML all the way up to the top 30. And super impressive. Now they've technically taken a rounds win, but still they do get the loss as they lost both maps. And the overall scoreline technically 2-1. With rounds won at 9-8 in favor, or 8-9 in favor of SirenSnails. Crazy stuff. Love to see it, though. A really good, just a fun game to tune into. Both teams on display here today. Map 1, just an all-out brawl. Map 2, Strive putting on a good showcase, and Map 3, Siren taking it away. A great set to tune into if you did stop by, so I do appreciate it if you were hanging out in chat. That's going to be it for me, though, this fine afternoon. Be sure to tune in Friday, 6 p.m. PST right here for more action, but also Saturday and Sunday over on twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. Also on Horizon venues. Do not miss that action. It is going to be some good quality weekend gameplay. But I don't know what teams are battling it out just yet. Keep an eye on the social medias to know what teams will be duking it out when, so be sure to follow Onward_VRML on Twitter. You can also follow me at the NightFiree on Twitter if you are so inclined. But again, that'll be it for me. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Until next time, stay classy.